All right, next up, we're going to keep this rolling right along. I'd like to bring up Eric Croft, CFO of Root Sciences. The floor is yours.
Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. It's very nice to be back in live in-person events, seeing a lot of familiar faces. It's nice to be back. So we are Root Sciences, end-to-end processing equipment and professional engineering services. Give you a little introduction about my background. I was an early silent investor in one of the first Tier 3 producer processor licenses in the state of Washington in 2015. Root Science was spun out of this entity in 2016 as the founders realized it was better to sell the picks and shovels than mine the gold, the old adage. After some rapid growth, I was asked to help with the CFO search. And after immersing myself in this industry, I never left. And that was 5 years ago. So I realized how exciting it was to be part of an entirely new industry and building something from the ground up, as I know most of you as well. A little bit of introduction about Root Sciences. Back in 2016, very few companies were making distillate for vape cartridges or edibles. Everyone was still using crude oil for vape pens and edibles, which, as you remember, tasted horrible. The industry's come a long way. After an extensive search, we found VTA out of Germany, who'd been making distillation equipment for 20 or 30 years. A lot of different industries, including pharmaceuticals, botanicals, mint, lavender, fish oil, just about everything. We took this technology and pivoted into the cannabis space. Since then, we've expanded our product line to include everything needed for end-to-end solutions and in the processing space or sector. Everyone loves to talk about the grows in the retail space. However, we build a very nice business in the middle, which is the processing space. We are the global leader in distribution of equipment and support services for processing facilities. We provide premium extraction, distillation, and pretty much any other post-processing technology needed. Business planning, lab facility, design, consulting services, process engineering, and full parts and maintenance and support. As I mentioned, we were one of the first to build out a first fully automated light deprivation greenhouse in Washington in 2014. We started as practitioners, still are, in the grow and processing side, and the majority of our original people are still with us as we pivoted into the ancillary space. We still have our sister facility in Washington State, which has proven extremely valuable and a strategic advantage, as we're able to perform R&D on any sort of equipment in the true cannabis setting before we roll it out to our platform. We can also offer in-person demos, which is also a strategic advantage, where people can come up and actually watch the equipment run, time the throughputs, different metrics, which many of our competitors cannot do. So here's a little company background and timeline. I want to focus more on the more recent, which is rollout of some new equipment, THC remediation, terpene extraction and separation, nanofiltration, high pressure homogenation, and nanoemulsification equipment. I want to talk a little bit about our partnerships with our manufacturers. We have exclusive agreements with Devex and VTA out of Germany, and with Gaia, who is out of Italy. We also have partnerships with Extraction Tech Stainless, who does ethanol, hydrocarbon extraction, C1D1 boxes, pretty much everything on the front end of the processing side. We have Molecular Forces, who manufactures our nanofiltration equipment, Tandem Tech, who does the terpene extraction and separation equipment for us, EcoDist and ETS does our solvent recovery, and we have agreements with Across International, who handles our crystallization, vac ovens, and any other ancillary processing equipment. We also represent REM Technologies, who does our THC remediation. Here's a little bit of our equipment lines. This is our some of our extraction equipment through Devex and through Extraction Tech Stainless. We can scale up to meet any size that the customers need. Basically anything from a tabletop up to 3-story pieces of equipment. We also can offer pharmaceutical grade EU GMP for extraction and distillation equipment. For our distillation equipment, we have exclusive agreements with both VTA and UIC out of Germany. We're constantly working with VTA to improve our best of breed technology. We recently re-engineered and upgraded our complete line of distillation equipment. And we can basically go from anything from 1 liter per hour of throughput up to many hundreds of liters per hour, just based upon what your product is and the size of your operation. This is a piece of equipment we rolled out roughly about 2 years ago. It's a nano-emulsification equipment from GEA out of Italy. There's been a lot of traction on this equipment the last 12 months. And for those of you not familiar with this technology, basically what it does is it takes the CBD or THC molecules, runs it through a high pressure nozzle and smashes the molecules to make them about 1/4 the original size. And what that does is it increases the bioavailability in your body. Typically, when you consume a drinkable or edible, only about 20% of it is taken into the body. The rest of it, the 80%, is washed through the stomach and the GI tract. After running it through the nano-emulsification equipment, there's about an 80% uptake in the body, which is much, much faster, and it's much stronger. So the application is you can use 1/4 of the input material or distillation, or you can make things 4 times stronger. As you can see, it also, some of the benefits are enhanced shelf life, the improved bioavailability, faster uptake. It produces clear, high load and flavorless nano-emulsion. So, and again, this has been a very big seller for us. This is some of our additional solutions we offer: THC remediation, nanofiltration, solvent recovery, terpene extraction, ancillary products, which are the reactors, vac ovens, et cetera. Support services, like I mentioned earlier, we do all the installation, parts, maintenance, SOPs, all of that. Professional engineering services, lab design, which is starting to take off quite a bit as well. We go in, do the drawings, do pretty much everything through our group of engineers. We also offer financing to our customers through our network of outside lenders. Service and expertise, years of hands-on experience in both growing and processing, team of practitioners, as I mentioned, biochemistry, process engineering, a lot of R&D. We work alongside of our manufacturing partners to tailor our equipment for both the THC and the hemp side. Currently, we are in 12 countries, over 4 different continents. We have roughly 400 processing customers over a period of very short time, with many of them being repeat customers. Our clients are some of the largest Canadian LPs and some of the largest global processors. Recently, we've been selling quite a bit of equipment outside of the US, mainly in Thailand. The Thai government has issued roughly 400 licenses recently, so that seems to be kind of the hotbed right now. We're currently working on a project now, which is being installed next month, where we brought together 5 different manufacturers for an end-to-end solution for a Thai foundation. Strategic partnerships, investment opportunities, end-to-end partner for processing facilities, R&D resource. We do partner with quite a few entities to do various R&D projects through our engineers, scientists, and our network. We're always evaluating strategic and capital partnership opportunities. And we'll be in Las Vegas next week. I hope you guys will come visit us at our booth. And does anybody have any questions? I'd be happy to answer.
Thank Thank you so much, Eric. Folks, if there are any questions, there is a mic in the center of the room there. And you folks at home, we are evaluating and looking at those questions that you're posting in the chat. So, Eric, I have one to get us started.
Sure.
So, remind us, there's several different extraction methods, right? What are they? Which methods do your products utilize, right, and service? And are some methods better for certain product types?
They are. So there's CO2, there's cold ethanol, cryoethanol, and then there's hydrocarbon. We currently offer the cryoethanol and hydrocarbon through our partner, ETS. They're all a little bit different. CO2 we see still around. That's mostly if the regulations in certain areas through the fire departments or building codes don't allow for ethanol or hydrocarbon on site. Certain countries outside the US definitely tend to head more towards the CO2 market. Ethanol you pretty much see on a larger scale for hemp. It's much more cost effective to go on the ethanol side. But yeah, for the most part, we're seeing a big surge in hydrocarbon and ethanol. CO2, we don't see a whole lot more of that unless it's outside of the country.
And what are you seeing in terms of your customer base, right? Which one are they leaning towards the most?
Mostly ethanol and hydrocarbon. We don't see a whole lot of CO2. CO2 was really big, 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
And now the cryoethanol and hydrocarbon have really kind of taken over.
Well, your footprint when you were on that slide surprised me a little bit. So give us another or a little bit more color rather on who you're working with, what types of firms that you're working with, and again a bit more on that geography.
Yeah, it spans it's small mom and pop operations to the big Canadian LPs. Almost all of them are our customers. Now we're like I said, expanding into Asia. A lot of big companies there, South America, a lot of grows down there, and then in Europe as well. So each market is very, very different depending on the regulation and what they require, whether they're exporting or whether just basically what their end products are as well.
Okay, so just one more for you. When it comes to your products and your manufacturing partners and constantly trying to innovate, right? What are you seeing in terms of now cannabis 3.0, right? All these new products, the beverage market, the edible market, right?
Yeah. So initially when we started, it was basically extraction and distillation. Now we're seeing about every 6 months something new that goes on top of that. Then it was crystallization. Now it's nanoemulsification. So it seems that the processing cycle is expanding to basically the new products that are coming out, the drinkables, some of the edibles, and they're being refined to a much better quality, much better consistency. So it's the processing process, if you will, just keeps getting longer and longer. And as that happens, we go out and find the best of breed technology manufacturers to fill that void. We get customers calling us, asking us, hey, can you supply this equipment? If we don't have it, we'll go out and find it, and end-to-end solution.
That's cool. So it's customer driven then in terms of adding that value.
We're known for our customer service.
That's wonderful, right? So there's not one part of you that's like, guys, can we just do one gummy, please?
No.
Got it.
No, and again, we go out and R&D equipment at our sister facility, make sure it runs properly, make sure it does what we say it's going to do. So it's and again, anybody can come watch the equipment run if you want to take a trip to Washington.
There you go. Go. Well, Eric Croft, everyone, give it up for Eric and Root Sciences. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you being here.